Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Denver Broncos fans, New England Patriots fans. I think you got to be rejoicing too. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I know those Philadelphia Eagles fans are as well. Condolences to Kansas City Chiefs fans out there. I know it was a tough, we've got fans that are KC Chiefs fans, but my name is Brian Anthony Davis. Nick Hogan is here. Jess Place is here. Aiden Reed is not here. He is celebrating. I'm hoping not from a jail cell, but we will find out. Of course, Aiden Reed from Broad Street LinkedIn, our Philadelphia Phillies correspondent here on the Fans First Football Show. Super Bowl 59, or like I like to call it, Super Bowl Licks, L-I-X. Super Bowl Licks is over. Hogan, what is going on, my man?
Not too much. That was a Super Bowl if there ever was one. I could tell you that. It was kind of a doozy to get going. I mean, if you're a Chiefs fan or you like the Chiefs, I apologize, but man, oh man, that was rough. But the second half, they tried to make it interesting, and it was just too little, too late. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was.
I know Jess Place, who is an AFC West fan because of his Denver Broncos, he enjoyed it, and he's usually in bed by now, but he's glad to be up talking about this.
What's up, my gosh. Today is a day when Raiders fans and Chargers fans and Broncos fans can all come together and celebrate and rejoice in the misery of our arch rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. There will be no three-peat for you. Not this year. Not next year. You got to start over. You're going to count starting. You got to start counting with one. Congratulations to the Chiefs. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see, but I tuned into Aiden Reed's Broad Street LinkedIn Instagram Live, and he was making his way down some street, I assume in Philadelphia. He claimed they were going to go take over some sort of public building. Congratulations to him, and I
think he's going to City Hall.
Don't get into too much trouble celebrating this win.
Well, with that being said, I'm wondering if we should try to call our good friend Aiden Reed, and it would be irresponsible of us to call him, just cold call him. But have we ever been responsible? No, my friend, we have not. So here we go. Let's see what we get. Can you hear that at all, guys?
Oh, yeah. I hear the ringing.
I don't know if we're going to hear Aiden Reed pick up here. I'm just hoping he's not being cuffed and booked as we speak. But he's a peaceful guy. He's a good dude. So
if we're on long enough, we may be his one call from the Who Scout.
The Who Scout
has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 2.
Whoa. We can't. Let's get that off
there. Well, that was fun.
I was going to leave a message, but then I'm like, whoa, we can't do that. But I will leave this going to see if he does call us back. Who knows what's going on with Reed. So Hogan's going to give us the tail of the tape of this game. But before I do that, I want to make a comment. Somebody was asking me earlier, and I went on record saying I just wanted a clean game, an official free game. And I looked at the very beginning with what I thought was an egregious call on the offensive pass interference. But I thought it was going to be, here we go again. And then they did the makeup call on the very next series. So I almost feel like those were both one. I think neither one were really penalties. I really didn't think. I thought they were very close and very ticky-tack. And I don't know if I'm throwing the flag on it. But if you ask me, with the way that the Eagles were playing, they made it hard for the referees to get into the game. Oh, I'm getting a text.
It's him.
Oh, he said send link. I said I did. Well, we'll have to do that again. I will go ahead and do that while we while we go ahead and do the tail of the tape. But like we're going to get Aiden Reed to go ahead and show up. So Hogan, go and tell us about this game.
All right. Well,
wait, he's calling. Hold on a second.
Colin. All right.
He is calling. Hey, you are live, my friend.
If I have connection, I will join. My connection's been horrible, but we're on Broad Street. We're turning it up, Brian. We did it, man. You gotta pinch me. I don't feel real.
I would not pinch you if I was close to you, but and we are live, and Hogan and Jess are laughing like crazy at you right now. That's great. We already sent you. We sent you the link.
Oh man, my connection's so bad, Brian. There's so many people out here on Broad right now.
Well, go ahead. Explain what's going on and where you are, and please tell me you're not in jail.
I'm not in jail. I just climbed up on a building. I got down. We're on Broad. The city is electric. You gotta pinch me, Brian. You gotta pinch me. This is not real. This is not real. We did it, Brian. We did it. I am so happy. You might as well kill me now. I'll never.
No. We want to keep you. We want to keep you because there might be more.
It's the start of a dynasty, Brian. Why not us for the 3?
Why not? I tell you what. Very proud of your team. I thought this was a great.
Ask him about Zach Bond.
Wait, am I already there? Some bitches?
Oh, I don't know what happened there. I will try to go ahead and send the link out to him. Guys. Oh, he's back. This is probably the most unprofessional podcast. It does not matter if it's an unprofessional podcast. This is the true triumph of the human spirit. All right, Aiden, you're back and you're live.
We did it. We did it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Brian. I can't believe it. We took him down, and it was belt to motherfucking.
Whoa. I think I cut that off before. I think I cut that off before it happened. I accidentally hung up on him, but maybe that's a good thing that I did. But you guys, that is the triumph of the human spirit. I will tell you that right there. And I have never heard Aiden swear ever. I haven't even heard him say anything close to it. I might have gotten damn out of him once, but my goodness, he's partying. He's having a good time.
It feels good to win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's the biggest thing that you look forward to as a fan. So
yeah, and all of you guys have done it later than I have, because the last time that I've had this chance to celebrate was in 2009. He's gonna hop on StreamYard when he gets home. I don't think.
Well, so we'll see him on Thursday.
Yeah, if you post bail that quickly. Hogan, tell us about this game.
All right. Well, we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. I mean, this game started off with a bang. Like you said, there were a couple of interesting calls there to get us going. But once I think after those calls got through, I think the Eagles settled in and really just dropped the hammer on Kansas City. And the tail of the tape is exactly how that goes, where the Eagles just took it and ran with it and did not look back. They jumped out to a 17-0 lead, 24-0 at one point. I think it was 24-0 at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. Jalen Hurts winning the MVP. Interesting case there, because honestly, you could have given it to half the Eagles defense the way that they played in this game. Patrick Mahomes was an absolute shell shock of himself in the first half there. He ended the day with 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I would say about 90% of those passing yards came in the fourth quarter in garbage time against the Eagles backups, when the Kansas City Chiefs had no chance of even sniffing a chance in this game there. Where on the Eagles side, let's talk about Jalen Hurts MVP status, 221 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and an awful interception that came early in the game, but wasn't enough to hurt them. On the ground, he took care of business, 11 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Saquon actually being held in check really well by Kansas City's defense there. Only 25 He had 25 carries, which is a lot. Only 57 yards rushing. Receiving wise, not bad. 6 catches for 40 yards there. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown getting in the action, getting a couple of touchdowns for them. On the Kansas City side, we'll wrap up with what the Kansas City receivers did. Xavier Worthy, 8 catches, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he did everything he could. Travis Kelce, shell shock himself, 4 catches, 39 yards. So not a great day stat-wise for anybody on a Chiefs uniform. The Eagles, really, it was the defense. I mean, Cooper DeJean returning the interception for a touchdown was unbelievable to see. Got to give a shout out to Zach Bond, the Aiden Reed champion of champions, getting the interception in there. We all thought maybe, hey, he's going to go for that MVP like Aiden Reed wanted. But again, it was the defensive line. Josh Sweat, 2.5 sacks. I mean, Milton Williams, another 2 in there. They just were all over Patrick Mahomes from the get-go. And again, 40-22. Honestly, this game felt like it was 40-0. That's how dominant the Eagles played in this game.
I haven't seen that great of a defensive performance since Grady Jackson had 3 sacks in a Super Bowl. I believe that was against the Patriots. Oh, wait, they lost. What am I talking about? Oh, he's back.
Hogan,
all right, you're back, but you are not allowed to swear. No swearing.
No swearing. Sorry. My connection should be better. We're away from the main crowd. Brian, holy
What?
MFing.
Whoa, you can't even. I don't even want the initials.
We did it, Brian.
This
I
is.
couldn't be happier. You gotta pinch me, man. You gotta pinch me. Second Super Bowl in franchise history. All the Jalen Hurts doubters are sucking their teeth right now. Oh my God. I'm so happy for Jalen, man. I'm so happy for Jalen.
We were just talking about his MVP award. One thing that Hogan said that you could probably given it to anybody on the defense, but that's real tough because it was so even on the defensive side of the ball. But if
It's so funny, Brian. I told my friends this. I said, if you could give a defensive award, if you could give the MVP award to an entire unit, it had to be the defense. I'm not upset at all. It was Hurts. It made me a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I mean, Hurts just proved all the haters wrong, man. He proved them all wrong. And I don't even know what to say. I mean, they were hating on him for all this whole week. Oh, he can't throw the ball. Devontae Smith, 56-yard touchdown. Come on, Brian. Come on, man. This is the start of something special. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. And I'm blessed to be alive in this era of Eagles football. It's been unbelievable. And I'm going to say it now, Brian. I might have had a few drinks with me, but I'm
really,
say, why not us for the 3-peat? Why not us? Why not us the next 2 years, huh?
Why not?
Why can't we do it?
Here's my question to you, though. If the Eagles start off 2-2, are you going to be asking for Nick Sirianni's head?
Hey, hand up. I wanted Sirianni gone after 2-2, and boy, was I wrong. He has done a phenomenal job. I listened to Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson on the Part of My Take, and they're just praising Nick for not only his relationship with the team, but the fact that he understands the team and his organizational skills. And everyone's asking, what does Nick Sirianni actually do? Well, he has the boys ready to play. And at the end of the day, when you're the head coach, that's what matters most. And these guys were ready to play. I mean, the defense was flying out there, Brian. The defense was flying. And I don't even know what else to say. If they could give the MVP to a unit, it would be the defense. Obviously, I'm very happy Hurts won it. But holy smokes, man. Cooper DeJean on his birthday, take 6. Zach Bond, that ended the game. That ended the game, Brian. That Zach Bond should have been Defensive Player of the Year. That pick six ended the game.
You called it all year, and you called it from the very beginning when a lot of people didn't know who he was. Hogan and Jess, do you have any questions? I don't know if you can hear us, but because I have my headphones on.
Whatever.
But Hogan, any questions for our good friend here?
I mean, off the top of my head,
Question to me, but I'm all ears.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and repeat the question. Go ahead, Hogan.
no problem. I gotta say, I ask him how much is the Saquon Barkley signing worth at this point?
How much is the Saquon Barkley signing worth at this point? Asked Hogan.
Oh, I mean, you saw it all day. They were loading that box. Normally, they bluff the safety and drop it back, but they weren't doing that this game. That was definitely up back sleeve. And you saw what happened. You saw A.J. Brown and press coverage one-on-one eating. You saw Devontae Smith eating.
Is now a good time for me to ask my question? He gone.
I think he's gone.
Brian's still holding out hope. Look at him.
Does this win, Brian? And that's what I gotta say.
All right. Do you feel? I'm going to go to Jess's question. I'm going to go to him in a second. But do you feel that America and the league has a new respect for Jalen Hurts right now?
They better. I mean, they better. There's so Brian. I can't explain to you enough how happy I am for Jalen Hurts.
I think you can.
Hated on him week in and week out for not putting up numbers. But at the end of the day, it's what Jalen Hurts himself said. The main thing. All he cares about is winning. And look what happens. It doesn't matter if Saquon runs for 300. It doesn't matter if Jalen passes for 300. At the end of the day, we're trying to win football games. And that's what Jalen Hurts does.
All right,
And
Jess.
that's what I respect the most out of him is that he doesn't care if he doesn't pass for 300 yards. He wants to win. And that's what happened this season. And this city is going ballistic for him.
I am so happy for you and for the rest of Philadelphia. Jess, do you have anything that you want to add?
I got to ask the question that's on all Broncos fans' minds right now. How instrumental was Vic Fangio to this win? And could he have called a better game on defense?
How instrumental, Jess asked, was Vic Fangio to this win, and could have he called a better game?
I mean, the defense was flying out there, Jess. The defense was flying. It's the youngest defensive roster in the league. They were so fast out there. They got after Mahomes, and honestly, I'm just so happy that Vic Fangio said he's here to stay. He's a Philly guy, born here, through and through Philly, and he said he's here to stay. And I couldn't be happier. It sucks Kellen Moore's leaving, but at the end of the day, this defense came to play today. I mean, I know they put up 22 points, but how much was that was in garbage time, Brian? They killed him.
You really can't. You really can't count that. All right, my man, we are going to let you go celebrate.
I'm going to celebrate, Brian. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Make sure everyone tunes in to the Fan First Football Show. And, oh, my God, we're world champs, baby. You got to pinch me, Brian. It doesn't feel real. But I appreciate everything you guys do. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I
will pinch you when I see you. I'll be glad to do that. Enjoy, but, hey, find somebody there to pinch you. I'm sure there's a lot of people with no inhibitions right now, so I'm sure you can get plenty of pinches.
Go Birds, Brian!
We'll see you, buddy.
I'll see you, man. I'll see you.
I tell you what, again, I'm going to use it. The triumph of the human spirit right there. That is, guys, I'm going to ask you, Jess, first. Isn't that what fandom's all about?
Oh yeah. Oh, and he's gonna get to enjoy this all off season, rolling in. They're gonna have the first game next year. I mean, there's so many fun little perks when you win a Super Bowl. It's awesome. So congratulations, Reed. Like enjoy it, man.
I am so happy for him. Is that what you did when the Dodgers won the World Series this year?
Yes, I was very excited.
Did you make phone calls like that?
The phone calls were rolling in. It was awesome. It was, come on. It was an amazing game. The last
And
game.
I know. I mean, but my gosh, I didn't think Shirley Temples would do that to you, but I know that's what Reed's been drinking. Hogan, you've had that feeling before, and were you? I've had that feeling as well, and we all have. I mean, in this since, like I said, since 2009, we've all experienced it, and this is fantastic. There's no jealousy here. We're so happy for this kid that he's enjoying it as an Eagles fan. That's probably one of the main things I was thinking of. Are my friends like Aiden, like the founder of our network, Ken Wisniewski. I was so happy for him. I'm happy for so many coworkers, Sam and Shane of mine, friends, Devin and Sabrina, James, so many people that I know that are Eagles fans, and I'm happy for them. And I think this is absolutely fantastic. I'm glad they're happy. I just hope it's a safe celebration. But Hogan, have you ever felt that much elation? Because I tell you what, that's amazing what I'm hearing here.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing is obviously I was a little bit of a younger guy when the Patriots first dynasty rolled around for the early 2000s. So they were enjoyable, but I didn't really appreciate the Super Bowls as much as I feel like I should have until the next coming of the dynasty for the early 2010s, obviously with 2014 and then 16 and then 18 in there. So it's like, and especially, and not to take anything away from the Eagles, obviously, I very much despise the first Super Bowl that they won. However, this one I was fully on board rooting for them and everything. But the biggest thing was the fact that the game was clinched, I felt like so early, made it so much easier for them to celebrate, where I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, my sphincter was sewn shut during the Patriots ones because they never blew out any team. And it was always just like, I cutting years off my life when they won. So the elation, especially like the Atlanta Super Bowl with overtime and everything, was just, I was gripping my seat the entire time. When they finally were winning that and holding up the trophy, there's no better feeling as a fan to see that for a team that you love and adore and want to see win all the time. So I absolutely get that, where he's coming from right now.
You know, Jess, go ahead. I was going to ask you next, but go ahead. I want you to jump in.
I just want to say to the other side of that coin, like watching the Chiefs go down like that, like it was a blowout. Like the 22 points that they scored, those were all pretty much all garbage points.
They're calling it a blow. They're calling it a blowout, despite the 22 points.
Despite the 22 points. Exactly.
It's breaking news, CBS Sports, Eagles win Super Bowl, licks 40-22, denied Chiefs performance. Somebody called it a blowout on my screen here. I'm not sure exactly who, but it felt like a blowout to almost everybody.
As a Broncos fan, I can speak to blowouts, especially in the Super Bowl. And so
in New Orleans, a Super Bowl in New Orleans.
I may have been hoping for a 45-point plus loss just so that we could go ahead and kind of push us further down that record book. But it was nice to see the Chiefs lose by so much. I wish that they didn't score those 22 garbage points, because I think they should wear this loss for what it really was.
I think they are, though. When you look the eye test, Hogan, I'm going to ask you about the eye test here. When you look at the score, you're going to look at it as not 40-22. You're probably looking at it as, excuse me, I'm sorry, 30. What was the final score?
Final score is 40-22.
40-22. Okay. You're not looking at it as 40-22. You're probably looking at more as 40-12 at best, or 40-6.
Right. Like I said, the biggest thing was that the Chiefs did not really score until the second half of the game, and by the time they scored, the game was essentially over. Um, this was an absolute dominant performance by the Eagles defense. I mean, I think it was at one point going into the third quarter, they showed both teams' stats for yardage. The Eagles had over 250 yards of offense, and the Chiefs had like 38. It was incredible. It was absolutely just. I know a lot of people. I mean, in no way, shape, or form am I comparing this to the '85 Bears, but from the stories I've heard, that defense was locked down, and you could have convinced a lot of people that the Eagles had a similar defense. The way they played in this game, specifically destroying Mahomes the way they did early on, it was just he couldn't get anything going. The blocking by the offensive line was terrible. No rush yards for the Chiefs. It was just abysmal all around.
All right, so let me throw out. I'm going to ask Jess this question. We'll send it back to Hogan. So, what Hogan just said about the '85 Bears, of course, a fantastic defense. Those Steelers defenses of the '70s, especially that defense in '76. You throw that one out there. You throw the '85 Bears, and you throw the 2000 Ravens, which I always hate to throw out, but you've got to. And they don't win a Super Bowl without that defense. And when you look at those three, it's not really hard to put the 2024 Philadelphia defense in as one of the best Super Bowl defenses of all time, Jess. Wouldn't you agree?
They're up there, and I would also throw in those 2015 Denver Broncos against the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, one of those things that the '85 Bears didn't have was a dominant offense, and clearly Philadelphia was able to put up some points today in the Super Bowl. So they're probably a more complete team than those '85 Bears were.
Okay, let me ask you a question before I send that back to Hogan. And I'm probably going off script here, and I'm jumping around. But
wait, there's a script?
Oh, a courier should have brought it to your house.
I didn't
Jess.
get it. I didn't,
Just like Joey and Friends, you should be getting your Days of Our Lives script. So, no, my question for you now is, I think I lost it there.
Oh no! You did it to me.
Lost.
You've done it to me on this show, and so now
I know.
Payback is a biatch.
All right. What do you mean? I get no payback. All right, Hogan. I'll think about that question, but let's go back. Most dominant defenses in Super Bowl history: Pittsburgh, Baltimore, of course, Chicago, and now I think we've got to add Philadelphia to that Mount Rushmore of Super Bowl defenses.
Right. And I think the big thing, too, is that you got to give, as much as we all like to kind of poop on the Chiefs at this point, which, I mean, I'm certainly not complaining about. The big thing that I look at, too, is the Chiefs' defense was really let down by the Chiefs' offense in this game as well. As well as the Eagles' defense played, and I'm not, like, again, I'm agreeing with you where I'm saying it was a absolute dominant performance because of what they did in the first half specifically, and even into the second half where, again, we talked about how the Chiefs didn't score till the end. But I got to give credit to the Chiefs' defense where they did everything they could, where they held Saquon Barkley in check. They did a lot of things. Like Jalen Hurts, as much as he won the MVP, he also didn't put up mind-boggling numbers or anything like that. And again, no disrespect to him or anything, but at the end of the day, the Chiefs did everything they could to keep their team in this game with their defensive performance. It just wasn't enough. Like Jess talked about it, the Eagles have a complete team. They had the dominant defense to match a offense that was able to put up enough points to do what they needed to do. But again, the pick six, you can't put that on the Chiefs defense there. The turnovers that Mahomes had that gave the Eagles short yard positions. The Chiefs defense, don't sleep on them. They're still a great defense. They got them to the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, as much as I want to just lather praise all over the Eagles, which we absolutely can do, I can't take away from what the Chiefs were able to accomplish to either get to this point. And obviously the defense did what they could to try and keep them in this game. It's going to be a blowout in the history books because it ended up being a blowout.
When did this game change for you, Hogan? When did you sit back and say it's over?
For me personally, it was a toss up. I kind of thought it when Cooper DeJean got the pick six, but at that point it was 17-0. And I know the Chiefs as well as I do. And I'm sitting there going, they're not out of this yet. It's Patrick Mahomes and they come out of deeper holes. But I got to say, when it was the Zach Bond interception that gave the Eagles short yardage, and then they scored that touchdown to go up 24-0 at halftime, I'm sitting there going, man, I mean, of course, with all Patriot fans in my household, we're all sitting there going, well, we came back from 25. I mean, yeah, we're better than that. But at the same time, I mean, it was just, you could feel the shift and how that game was going, where Mahomes could not get anything going. That defense was too dominant for the Eagles. So it just, when they were up 24-0, it was halftime, it felt like it was over.
Jess, was that the same exact spot for you? Because I was feeling more around 17-0. I was feeling that it just felt different. But what about you?
For me, I had to wait until that touchdown that took him over the 30-point threshold. For me, it's like once you get 30, like it's over. It's game over. I mean, maybe 1% of the games I've seen in my lifetime, people have come back from 30. So that was finally when I'm like, okay, the Eagles have this. The Chiefs have been vanquished. Thank God they've been vanquished. So yeah, it was Raiders fans, Chargers fans, Broncos fans coming together, celebrate, group hug, everybody. Come on in.
Don't forget about Steelers fans who did not. Steelers fans wanted to keep the 4 in 6 years record, and they did keep the 4 in 6 years record now as well. So that's something that I mean, we as Steeler fans have nothing else to hang our hats on. So this year, so we have to hang it on that. But I don't think anybody besides Kansas City Chiefs actual fans were really looking for it, because they wanted to see that dynasty go down. And Hogan, you know darn well, being a Patriots fan, that it was you guys against the world. As Steeler fans, I felt like it was Steeler fans against the world. I don't know if Jess, if you've ever felt that with the Broncos, maybe in 98 and 99.
Yeah, 98 was probably it. It was going well. It was 97, 98.
97 and 98.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so it was the second one where it was. Yeah, it felt like people were not too excited to see Elway get a second one. They were happy to see him get the first, but the second one, they were like, nah, it's too many.
Even Eugene Robinson's hooker was rooting for was rooting against the Broncos there too. So sorry, every time I think about that Super Bowl, I think less of the Broncos and I think more of like humanitarian Eugene Robinson going out. And Miami, man, those Super Bowls in Miami get rough, man.
He's got a handful of 20s and some time.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on this game? Well, actually, before we do that, Reed kept on saying, "Why not us? Why not us being a dynasty in Philadelphia?" Hogan, where do you feel about that? Because I was thinking about this team and the way and how young that defense is and how good this team is. I think that Philadelphia would be a favorite to repeat, and they probably have the favorites out right now. They usually have them out after the game.
They actually do, and right now it's the Chiefs and Ravens at 1 and 2, and then the Eagles actually in third, which is very interesting.
Oh, wait, say that again.
As of right now, according to ESPN, Chiefs and Ravens are co-favored to win next year's Super Bowl, and then the Eagles are in third place.
Jess, do you agree with that?
You got to give it to the champs, right? And they're the champs until they ain't. So I don't know. That seems like a slight. I don't know. I don't know how you can watch the Eagles whoop up on Kansas City and then put the Kansas City still ahead of them. So I don't know.
Another thing I was thinking of, and by the way, I'm looking down 7 minutes ago. I had a missed call from Reed, so he was trying to get back to us. There's a part of me that just wants to call him back and hear my name 17 times. Brian,
wait, listen, Brian.
I love that kid. He is one of my favorite people in the world. No, but I will tell you this. It kind of feels like the end for the Chiefs. And I'm not trying to be the guy that's stomping on this team, but this is towards the end of a dynasty, and especially with this loss could probably signal the end of it. Jess, do you feel that this signals the end, especially with teams like the Ravens and the Bills still around?
Well, the Chiefs are definitely going to have a different look next year. We still don't know what the future holds for Travis Kelce. If it wasn't the marriage proposal at the end of the game that everyone was, and that I know Hogan was especially excited to see. But it'll look different, and it may not be the same because if I were Kelce, he was a non-factor in this game, and he was kind of a non-factor all year except in the playoffs. And so I don't know, like, is that section of the Chiefs identity going to go away? We'll have to find out. Like, where is this team going to go?
Hogan, what do you think? Because I really don't think there's a reason for Kelce to come back, because I think he stuck around for a three-peat, and you have to start over to get that three-peat to be different. He has 3 rings. He can make so much money as being retired. We saw what his brother did, and no disrespect to Jason, but Travis has a whole lot more talent outside of in the outside realm that you think he would. And if he does marry Taylor Swift, with, I'm sure that what he has bankrolled already and what she brings to the equation, they want for nothing. In fact, he might be able to have her sign a prenup at that point. But all I'm saying is this kind of feels like the end for the Chiefs, or am I just being premature?
If I'm being honest with you, I feel like we're being a little bit premature on calling it on the Chiefs at this point. I mean, a big thing that a lot of people have to take a step back and realize is, did the Super Bowl not go their way? Absolutely. Go back 4 or 5 years ago when Tampa Bay blew the doors off of Kansas City in the Super Bowl. A lot of people were sitting there going, wow, okay, like, they got exposed. They traded away Tyreek Hill after that. A lot of things fell out of place for them. Kareem Hunt was no longer on the team. So a lot of people were already sitting there calling the Chiefs dynasty over. And then what do? They turn around, they win 2 more Super Bowls to shut everybody up after that, So the biggest thing is, if Andy Reid's not going anywhere, if Patrick Mahomes is still the quarterback, if Steve Spagnuolo is still the defensive coordinator for that team, I'm not going to sit there and say that the Kansas City Chiefs are out of anything at this point. And this year especially showed me, where I counted them out, I think 14 different times. I mean, heck, Jess's Broncos should have beat them twice, and they still snuck away with, excuse me. Yeah, they should have beat them 1 time. I'm sorry. Earlier with the field.
We did.
Right.
We beat them twice. And in fact, the team that we beat in week 18, I think that team was on the field tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point is like, that shows you that they got away with a lot of games that this year that they maybe shouldn't have gotten away with. And obviously there were cracks in the armor. They had a lot of injuries that they had to deal with. They had to trade for older players like DeAndre Hopkins. They had to wait for Hollywood Brown to come back from injury. Travis Kelce is obviously, I'm not going to sit there and call him washed, because he's still 10,000 times more athletic than I'll ever be in my entire life. So, I mean, if he plays till he plays, it is what it is. But again, when they have the pieces that they have, I'm not going to sit there and count them out until they're not making the playoffs or they're getting knocked out in the first round like the other teams. So.
All right, my final question. I'm going to start with Hogan, then I'll go with Jess, and then we'll get final thoughts here. The NFL really needed, it seemed like the NFL wanted a Chiefs three-peat, but do you feel the NFL benefited so much more from the Eagles winning this game? I do. Hogan?
I'm going to agree with you on that one. It definitely, going in, I picked the Chiefs as much as I didn't want them to win. It seemed like it was lining up for the Chiefs to win yet again, to the dismay of many, many people. And I even know people that violently wish nothing but horrible things for the Philadelphia Eagles that were actually rooting for them because they can't stand the Chiefs at this point. But again, like you said, the Eagles winning this game and doing it in the dominating fashion that they did, I think kind of breathes a little more life into, finally, we don't see the Chiefs doing it again. We have a different team, even though the Eagles have been there and they've won recently. It's a new, flavor for people to be like, okay, it's not the same old team again and again and again. So I think this was only going to help the NFL in the long run.
But it also cleans up the 3-letter F word, fix. What do you think?
until the refs seem a little better for Chiefs games. I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm not going to say that it's fixed in terms of like the problem is fixed, but I want to see more consistency. The biggest thing in the offseason is obviously the NFL has to address very, very specific calls in terms of quarterback sliding, protection, and everything else that seems to favor a certain team and the way that it goes. So yes and no. They have some work to do. That's the best way I can put it.
Jess, do you think the NFL looks a whole lot better because there was no controversy in this game?
Well, I agree with Hogan that it doesn't tamp down the controversy. It makes it not the story because the Eagles won, and I think that helps the NFL. The more that they have to talk about, no, we're not helping out the Chiefs. The refs have nothing to do with it, and then you see like that first call. You can't help but have it in the back of your mind. Like even my wife, who doesn't follow football, was like, "Oh, the Chiefs are getting the calls again," and it's like this has trickled down into the most casual of fans, and so it's not just the podcasters and the bloggers and the radio hosts or whatever. It's even people who don't pay attention have heard that narrative, and so this will help that, but it doesn't make it go away entirely.
All right, yes, let's go ahead and finish up with your final thoughts, as this is the last Fans First football show of the 2024 season. Go ahead.
My final thought for the 2024 season is this has been an absolute blast doing the show with you this year. Steelers fans, Patriots fans, and of course the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles fans. However, tomorrow we are undefeated, and we're coming in 2025. So look out, Broncos are coming.
All right. We got a believe. There we go.
Believe it or not. I don't have my button, so
no, that's better because we can't get fined.
Believe it.
You're allowed to do that. Joey Scarberry is not coming after you for royalties, so don't worry about it. Neither is George Costanza. Hogan, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. It's been an absolute crazy season. It's been amazing from week one all the way through. Maybe not so much for my team, but that's to be expected at this point. I didn't expect them to be anything, but I couldn't be happier for Aiden and the Eagles fans at this point to be able to celebrate. Like I said, they're not beating a team that I adore, so that's more than okay. I was rooting for them. I'm right there behind them to say congratulations, but this has been an absolute blast with all of you guys, and I can't wait to see what happens with the future for bigger and better things to come. So thank you and appreciate all of you.
This has been an absolute pleasure, gentlemen. I appreciate it. I got to tell you though, this show made my night. I was in kind of a bad mood for other things coming into this night, but when I heard Aiden on the other end, and thinking about that little fella dancing around, jumping on. I mean, my gosh.
He's not a leprechaun. What do you mean?
He's wearing green and he's a little fella. To me, he's a little fellow.
He got his pot of gold. He got his pot of gold tonight.
There you go. That's
and he got a silver too. But with that being said, I just picture Aiden out there partying right now, wearing that throwback 1980 starter jacket. But anyways, I just feel so good for that kid. But man, I have a new respect for the Patriots. I have new respect for the Broncos, and I have new respect for every fan. And if one thing that football does is kind of brings us together, and I feel like this show has brought us together in a great way, and I hope more people get a chance to check this show out. How is it going to look in the next couple months? We're going to have to probably get on a 4-way call and figure that out, and we're going to do that, so don't worry about that. But we can't do these shows without all of you out there that are checking us out. So we do appreciate it. We love football and we love our teams. But I think if tonight showed us more than anything, that it showed us how much we can cheer for a fan of another team and feel so good and hear that elation and say, that's why we watch every single week our team play. That's why we pay attention in the first week of March, the third week of May, in June and July. We're looking for anything that says our team's name on it and hoping it's good, because sometimes it's like that anything that happens after midnight or after 2 a.m., it's bad. You worry about when your team makes the headlines in June. So you always worry about stuff like that, but we look for that, and we just love this game. And our teams aren't in it, but I'm going to put my head on the pillow tonight smiling, thinking of Aiden Reed and all those other Philadelphia fans that aren't punching out horses and are good people. With that being said, we do need to announce our GoFundMe to bail out Aiden, possibly. So you might have to look for that on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere else. We'll probably have to be looking at that soon too. But you definitely want to check out Broad Street LinkedIn this week to hear more from Aiden. You still want to check out Mile High Broncos, Foxborough Frenzy, the Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast, and of course the Steel Curtain Network as well. Again, we love this game. We love talking about it. Our teams weren't in it, with the exception of Aiden, but it still feels so good, and we're wrapping up a great 2024 season. Gentlemen, you made 2024 so much better for me. So, Jess, love ya. Hogan, adore ya. Aiden, I'm praying for you. So, with that being said, it's time for us to get on out of here. For Jess Place, for Nick Hogan, for Aiden Reed, sleeping it off somewhere, hopefully. My name is Brian Anthony Davis, and the three of us have one thing to say to you, and it's this. Go
football.
Football.
Watch me go, never slow.